Alright. I'm actually doing the second take of this, and I swore I would do it in one take, but it ended up being like 32 minutes long, and I really want to get it way shorter than that, because there's no reason this has to be that long. And we're going to shoot for 7 minutes, so bear with me. Basically, like the more I've been thinking about it, the more like the farms in Dark Age for 22 pop Scrush seem like really, really weird to me. And like everything about it is just like really weird. So I'm like, well, why not try to do 6 on berries and skip the farms? And basically, it's coming from like a 21 pop Scrush, where a lot of people like one farm 5 on berries. And I'm thinking, why not just do 0 farms, 22 pop Scrush on berries? I know like 6 on berries is inefficient, but you'll get 150 extra food from having horse collar on farms, and the berries get to be done super fast, which is nice because I hate having to guard my berries when I don't wall anything. Like the less stuff I can have to guard, the better. So it's a nice trade-off. Blah 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 blah. Let's go to Robo's first run really quickly. Like I'm pausing all these at 10 minutes 30 seconds, just nice arbitrary time I've always kind of used, even though I know you hit fetal at like 10 minutes 10 seconds roughly, 22 pop. So he had 1834 food and 723 wood on his first run. I just added up the total resources just so it's nice and easy to size up everything. Although I do prefer to have more food when I hit if I had the choice. But the more I've been seeing, the more just like the total is like we're all kind of in the ballpark at this point, and the total is just a nice number to use. Again, every map seed is going to be different. That's Robo's game, and I'm sorry this isn't laid out very well, but it makes sense in my head because I have it in like the chronological order that I like marked all the games in. So this is the game like I played him in a different map seed. Kind of see about the food we have. I didn't stop it at the 10-minute 30-second mark, but that's ballpark again for most games. Here's a normal game, ballpark again. And what I've been finding is that as long as I can get in the ballpark with the crazy no farm build, I'm happy because then you're just free rolling the 150 food later on by skipping the farms from the horse collar. This is me versus Spring. Spring's been messing around with it. He had a really good Dark Age, 2571 total resources. I had 2558. This is one of the best games for Dark Age I've seen. It was like August 2014, the Jordan vs Chocobo Rec Pack, Game 5. Jordan had 2669 resources just doing the total standard build. Not really able to replicate that yet. I need to like go back through now that I'm better and relook at it. I watched this rec actually like a lot of times because it's like the one rec I've been trying to copy the most for Dark Age, Feudal, and all that back in like October and November. Another good person for Dark Age is obviously Viper, but Yo. And this game was kind of weird. Like Yo was trying to steal Viper's boar, but he had 2400, 2404 total resources. Viper had 2432. Sebdos, another good player. Cedric, who posted the Viper Rec Pack that I got this game from. 2436 resources here, 2418, 1516. He was actually a 1790 player at the time. And this was my second to last game on ladder that I want to go through at the end, but let me see how I'm doing on time. I'm at 2500, he's at 2363, and this is a common problem I've seen for people that are like 15x level, especially like 1550 and lower. They just don't quite have such a good Dark Age, and it hurts so bad. So the more recs I go through in mine just to like spot check, and even just the way it feels, which really, I would just go by the way it feels. Because we've all played enough. It just feels really good to me. So let me just go through really quick. I'm going to speed through it, man. Let's go through the general ideas, because we all know what a 22 pop Scrush is. Boring stuff. Basically what he did in this rec is put 2 on berries around the time you lay your 2 farms or your second farm, anywhere in there. Other nice thing about it is like I just eye stuff. If I have good stragglers, I'll jump on those. I think in theory it's better to go on the stragglers first before they can kill it, but I've only seen a couple people Kill stragglers and 2k plus Rex. And at the 15x level, 16x, like, I thought people would be freaking out, thinking I was forwarding when I didn't have any farms, or think it was like really weird. There's actually only one person who thought it was like really weird right off the bat. It was MBL. I thought it was funny because he wasn't even like fully watching my rec or anything. He's like, you don't have any farms in Dark Age, what the heck? And I've had people spec my games and not mention anything to me. So, kind of funny. You never know too, maybe they're just AFK or something. But in this Robo-Rec, go to the thing to see what he had. I've got to scroll up on my thing. Okay, 2557 total resource. And this was offline, so there's no lag or anything. But as you can see, I'm messaging him a lot. I'm messaging him a lot while he is playing, and I know he's trying it already, or I wouldn't have like bothered him while he's doing it. And it was his first run. So, first run through. Okay, so now he's laying farms. Now the nice thing is, every time I kill a straggler, and it just hurts me when like there's a lot of wood left on a straggler when I just kill it with the farm. So I'm thinking it's nice if I can just kill the stragglers a little earlier on. Yeah, 'cause it seems like a waste to not use them, especially the better they are. Not having to lay the 2 farms makes me feel a little more flexible with the build, because let's say I still have my sheep and I had these 2 on sheep, or I want less rot on the sheep, or I find deer, you can throw them on deer, or the 2 injured ones I can put on stragglers and put 2 healthy ones on berries or over on the main wood, or just whatever I want to do. Where if I lay 2 farms with the 2 injured builds right off the bat, then they have to be on farms. Like it feels very inflexible to me. The other nice thing is it lines up really well, and I know these berries were really nice shape and everything, but they're out around the 12-minute 20-second mark, so right about now, and it's right around when you want to take your gold, and oh my god, it just lines up so nice. Is that not sexy? Now you can take your gold, and he took this one because it was closer, but I've been taking this one because I've been doing the same map seed over and over. When I was practicing it. Let's do it on ladder now. It gets close enough to the other build, and it always feels better when this one, even when things go wrong, this one just feels better. So anyways, he's got a 6 on gold, everything's nice and lined up right, and they can have about 5 scouts out by now if they do 22 pop up, so it's nice to have these berries gone, because it's less of a liability, and you don't have to worry about it. You're scouting around with his stuff, scouting around with your scouts trying to harass his stuff as well, and you don't have to worry about the berries. You're on gold, good stuff. It feels kind of like a mix between a 21 and a 23 pop to me, which is like really, really weird. But I think why is because like eco-wise, I just tend to have better Dark Ages. And you're on gold earlier, so this is what's really nice. Is let me fast forward. So his range is down normal time, 1430. But he can get bloodlines right now, like before the 15-minute mark. Like I think it ended up being the 14-minute 40-second mark. And I can just never do that when I open up 22 pop scout. 'Cause if you take your goal at 13-minute 10-second mark, which is pretty standard, start bloodlines at 16 minutes 20 seconds, I think it is. A good time is, or no, I'm sorry, 15 minutes 20 seconds, and it hits at 16:20. But either way, it's gonna be later, right? Because you have less on gold later. Everything's later. You can take it at like 12 minutes 30 seconds, but kind of the same thing. It just feels like it hurts your eco more. And let's just say you want to do like a standard thing. Like it always feels really weird to me to like take just a few off berries, or 2 off berries, or 3, or whatever you want to do, and then put them to gold and only keep like 2 on berries. And sometimes I just want the berries gone because they're a liability, and it's like, I don't know, it's just really weird. Nice to have them gone and everything lined up nice and neat. The third thing that lines up really well is the farm timing. So this farm, if you started around, let's just say the 11-minute mark, it won't need to be reseeded until just below the like 19 minutes 45-second mark, I think it is. I think it's fast forward it, because that's without horse collar or with, and I don't remember what it is, but I'll just cheat and fast forward to find out. But when you do the standard build, you always have to reseed these 2 farms already, right? Sucks. Okay, so that's without horse collar. That would be reseeded already. But with, yeah, it's just so nice, right? Oh, it just lasts forever. So you don't have to reseed the farms at all before you click up normally. seconds is just like normal time. Normal click up, 19 minutes 45 seconds. And no farms need to be reseeded. And I think about the time you hit castle is, okay, it ends here. But then now you have the option, do I want to reseed the farms? Or do I have enough food for all my upgrades? Do I have my 450 food for like Bodkin, Bosaw, and like a Vil? And I just don't want to reseed and send them somewhere else. Like, God, it just lines up so nicely. I love it. You see how I'm doing on time? 10 minutes, 30 seconds. I'm gonna go through one more rec really quick. It's my second to last rec on ladder, so it's not a good one, but it'll kind of show like why I think it's more flexible. Again, the one where the person I'm playing, he is 1540, and he had a kind of bad Dark Age, which kind of hurts him because he's not able to get enough scouts out, but I'm just going to try to focus on the Dark Age. So I screw up my Dark Age because I don't get my 2 extra sheep, but I'm still doing my 6 on berries, but I actually need 8 on berries, or just do the normal 2 farm thing with 6 on berries to have enough food when I get up. So I'm going to be short 200 food when I get up. But luckily I'll notice it, because I need 425 food when I hit, which is usually normal, and I'm going to have half that. I can already see it right now, and I'm like, oh, well, that kind of sucks. So I decided to do a range, because I have like a ton of wood, and I don't have enough food, so I can't do scouts. Another reason is that my base is really nice. It's easy to protect it if he goes scouts. But if I was actually paying attention and really awesome, like, I could have figured this out ahead of time, made my eco go this way, like lined up for archers instead of scouts, and then realized when I see his base, like, it's not really such a good idea to go scouts against him, because he has a really nice base too. It ended up working out for me. It could have been better, because you can actually open up bloodline scouts and have more range units than I had, but again, it's like 15x level, like 1600 or whatever. Just trying to add on farms to get up at a normal time. So I just kind of try to shoot for that 20-minute, 30-second click, anywhere around there, and just for the normal amount of units. Especially for a game like this, when I don't really want to go heavy feudal. He can't really heavy feudal me, etc, etc, etc. So I'll just fast forward, and you can see it's going to be about a 20-minute click, I think. And I have fletching, and I have +1 armor for archers, because I was 2 food heavy. Okay, yeah, 19-minute, 50-second. So like totally normal. And you can do the same thing when you open up bloodlines, but you'll have less archers. So I'm like, oh, this is cool. I just have a lot of archers. Go about it that way. This level 2, I feel like they have a hard time dealing with just a lot of expo really fast when you hit castle, because of like, they just like walling stuff and they kill walls really easily. So I like going more this style lately. If I go more scout heavy, I'd go scouts, and I'd be like, well, I can't ever get in. Like, maybe he'd wall up here, or over here too. Oh, he did wall over here. So, yeah, that's it for this build, and you guys can mess around with it. I think it's way more flexible. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I think Spring's been messing around with it, and Robo's been messing around with it. I love it. I think they're kind of still up in the air about it. Which makes sense. Like, it needs a lot of testing to tell, and at my level, like, I don't know if there's any problems with it, like if they go men-at-arms or Drush or something like that. Again though, I feel like it's way more flexible, because as long as people aren't killing your stragglers, or you can even adjust it to go for your stragglers earlier and then like adjust it later, it feels way more like adaptable to me, depending on how far your wood is. Like, if you have wood over here and you don't want to send a million guys over to wood right away, you can just go on your stragglers earlier. You're not tied down to those 2 farms earlier, which I believe, like, I feel like it just lines you up towards scouts, and I hate it. Like, if you do want to go more range heavy early, you still have that option. It doesn't quite give away what you're doing as much, which I love, because the farm count just totally gives away what you're doing. If you have 2 farms down, just immediately it just cuts the number of possibilities of stuff that you can do. I think the only problem with it is 2 injured Vils, like trying to protect them. So what I've been doing is like getting loom way earlier, both because I want to protect those Vils. I feel like my eco's still better getting loom and doing it this way, the no farm thing, than skipping loom and doing the standard build. just for me at least, because I screw up the other build probably. Oh, it's easier for me too. Like, it's hard for me to adjust the other build, and for all the reasons I mentioned, you're tied down to the 2 farms, and it's a lot easier for me to adjust this build. Makes me think about it more at least. So hopefully, maybe other people can try it, and it'll help you guys out. And I think that's about it. But yeah, again, this isn't really my thing. I'm just kind of ripping off people like everyone who's done 21 pop, like the standard 21 pop, really ripped off what they did because of like they rely on stragglers for a lot of the 21 pop builds. Spring, who goes 22 pop, but he'll still do like 1 lumber camp for a while a lot of the time, but he'll get away with it 'cause he uses stragglers. Else, oh, LeBlanc, there's this great wreck of LeBlanc where he couldn't find his starting sheep and he threw down a mill right away on his berries, and then just like the lumber camp later, and everything just lined up still. And I'm like, oh, like it doesn't really matter when you do stuff. And Dark Age is like way more forgiving, and yeah, always good to mess around with stuff. And oh, even the old school players, because like I guess Spring told me that there used to be 3 on berries, and I did watch an old Chris vs Arch Coven wreck, and they did have 3 on berries to start with, and I think they did 4 to deal with the Drush. And that's the other reason I like 6 on berries, is because I feel like I can deal with Drushes better with 6. But better players will have to like figure out if this is viable or not. But at least at the 15x level, I think it would help a lot of people out, because you can just eye stuff instead of having to blindly follow a build. It kind of sucks when you blindly follow a build, because then you'll see that something's unbalanced, but you're not really, at least for me, I'm not really too sure how to adjust it as well as when I just do it this way for whatever reason. Anyways, that's it, and hope it helps people out. See you guys later.